We love hip
Let me
hop.
get to this Ryan wedding update, okay? There's been a heavy update as far as one of the jail guards, a female jail guard, who had a relationship with one of what we just found out in our last segment, Ryan Wedding's associates. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys a video over here, and the fucked up thing is, what I mentioned, the jail guard thing, this all wraps up in the whole Project South thing, because for people who don't know what Project South is something where a multitude of Toronto police were arrested, and a few Toronto South jail guards were arrested as well for a bunch of corruption that's been happening, where the jail guards are giving information to the police, or the police actually are giving information to the gangsters so that they can go put hits on jail guards, okay, as well as other citizens out there in society. So I'm going to play a video over here showing all of the connections of this tangle web that has been weaved over here in our city. All right, let's get into it. Salute to Easy Factor popping up.
Gunmen targeted several Toronto area addresses last June, including the home of a manager at the Toronto South Detention Centre, sparking a major investigation about who ordered the hits that ensnared 28 people, including police officers.
It's huge. I mean, it's the largest corruption case Toronto police have ever dealt with.
New documents released after an application by several media outlets, including CTV News, shed light on the theories held by investigators as they tried to get search warrants and wiretaps. Among those charged, Constable Timothy Barnhart, who is accused of searching police databases for the target's address. These new documents allege he searched a license plate number originally spotted by this prison guard, Nishwant Dosanjh.
Dun, dun, dun. This girl right here, and they're going to say her name in a second. I'll rewind it. All right. I'm making a poll right here. But this girl is a prison guard. Now, we've had discussions. I have to remake this poll over here. We've had discussions on the podcast many times about the prison guards and women becoming prison guards and stuff like that. I'm going to remake the poll. How much Toronto police, and let's run this from the beginning again.
Gunmen targeted several Toronto area addresses last June, including the home of a manager at the Toronto South Detention Centre, sparking a major investigation about who ordered the hits that ensnared 28 people, including police officers.
It's huge. I mean, it's the largest corruption case Toronto police have ever dealt with.
New documents released after an application by several media outlets, including CTV News, shed light on the theories held by investigators as they tried to get search warrants and wiretaps. Among those charged, Constable Timothy Barnhart, who is accused of searching police databases for the target's address. These new documents allege he searched a license plate number originally spotted by this prison guard, Nishwant.
A license plate originally spotted by this prison guard. Bomba, come on.
Originally spotted by this prison guard, Nishwant Dosanjh, who is alleged to have taken a picture of the target's vehicle in the jail parking lot. Dosanjh had been in a romantic relationship with this man.
This guy. Remember, we figured out who this gentleman was, Gurdeep. They'll say his name in a second, but it's like Gurdeep something.
Mate Gurpreet Singh, who the documents alleged may have ordered the hit. That's the same Gurpreet Singh that's charged in the U.S., accused of working with accused drug kingpin and former Olympic medalist Ryan Wedding. He was arrested earlier this year.
I worked organized crime for years, and the connections are always amazing.
Former OPP Commissioner Chris Lewis said a jail would be the natural place where many of these people would meet.
Every jail, provincial and federal, it's the same. Everybody knows everybody.
Lawyers for Dosanjh and Singh stressed that months after these search warrants were executed, there have been no charges against either of them, and said that Dosanjh has been cooperating with investigators. As for that romantic relationship, that sometimes happens in jails, said former Toronto detective Mark Mendelson, but could be a big conflict of interest.
That's the last person you want supervising an inmate that you've already had a relationship with in the past. It's just wrong on every front.
The judge has said she'll be looking at publication bans at a later time, so there could be more information that comes out. John Woodward, CTV News.
You have
You
have to do extra background checks on these gal. Oh my God. So this woman is already dealing with Gurpreet Singh on roads. Okay. Then he got locked up, and she's the prison guard of where he got locked up. Oh my God. Oh my God. I feel like we have like Keystone, like the Toronto Police Service is Keystone Coppers, fam. Y'all know what Keystone Coppers are, bro? You know what Keystone Cops are? Like just like dumb doofy police.
A few years later, in a little village called Hollywood, the camera captured.
I need a louder one of this. This is one of the volume's low as shit on this one.
One of the things he had and doing gags in the back of cars, skinning automobiles.
This dumb falling all over each other. Look. That's Toronto Police right now. Just falling asleep on the job. Just doing dumb shit. That's Toronto Police. Just all bumbling, all falling into the car. Oh my God. You remember, keep in mind, we've covered this already on the stream. Maybe last year when the Toronto Police ran over somebody. They were trying to arrest this person so bad. They were like stumbling over themselves that like they left the car in drive and the car ran. I could show you better than I could tell you. Toronto Police run over. Look. And it wasn't even a man. It was a gal. Forward.
Okay, warning that some viewers might find the video in this next story disturbing. Toronto police are facing questions after a video circulating online shows a police cruiser rolling into a suspect and...
It was a woman. It wasn't even a man. It wouldn't have made it any better, but like these guys are fumbling for fooms at this point.
Officer. So the incident took place in a parking lot near James Street, south of Eglinton Avenue.
Right next to the Tim Hortons. You wanted to arrest this motherfucker so badly and get to your donuts at the same time that you forgot to put the car on park, idiot, doofus.
Saturday. Police say that officers were dispatched following reports of a person armed with knives who was damaging cars. The video shows an officer exiting the driver's seat of a...
I hate that thing. These are the people who are protecting us, fam? Are we serious? Come the fuck on, man. How are we supposed to believe why are we supposed to not believe that they're in some heavy police corruption right now where Ryan Wedding, the biggest drug trafficker in Canada, in the world pretty much, is connected with them and has them on payroll? Like, come on, fam. Why would I believe anything different? Right? Man charged with police corruption probed in contact with Ryan Wedding. We've watched all of this already. Right? Court documents linked between. Look at this shit.
And we have some breaking news. New court documents show a link between a police corruption investigation and the case against former Canadian Olympian Ryan Wedding. Now, the documents show Gurpreet Singh was investigated for potential involvement in an alleged plot to kill a Toronto corrections officer. U.S. authorities accuse Singh of helping coordinate cocaine shipments for Wedding, who's alleged to have run a drug trafficking ring. The probe of the plot against the corrections officer led to Project South, an investigation by York Regional Police that led to the arrest of 7 current and 1 retired Toronto police officers. They're accused of leaking information to an organized crime group. None of the allegations have been proven in court.
They might not, because witnesses might die, All types of shit might happen on the back end of this. All right. What the hell is this? Jesus Christ. Listen, I'm just showing you there's a lot going on when it comes to this. Gurdeep Singh. Arrest. Yeah, we did this last time where we couldn't find the right Gurdeep Singh because there's so many guys that are up to some fuckery right now. 4 months ago, 6 months ago, his lawyer was granted bail. Remember what his lawyer asked to do?
Bail has been granted for Canadian lawyer Deepak Paradkar. The 62-year-old faces extradition to the United States, being accused by
Emergency Deepak. That's the man name. Emergency Deepak.
American authorities of being part of a criminal organization, part of the organization led by former Canadian Olympic snowboarder Ryan Wedding. The bail conditions or the bail hearing really focused on whether or not Mr. Paradkar was a flight risk and whether or not he would flee the country instead of staying put and taking part in this extradition hearing. The Crown saying that he was at risk of flight. The judge said that he did not believe that to be the case, and that it would be in Mr. Paradkar's best interest to stay put. So he's being released under.
He's also, I think, known as the cocaine lawyer or some shit like that. Like he can get all your cases, you get that shit, make it disappear.
The assurity of his wife, who testified in the bail hearing, the judge saying that Mr. Paradkar's wife is a credible assurity and that it is in her best interest to keep Mr. Paradkar within the parameters of his bail conditions, which will be to have no outside contact beyond those that she witnesses using her cell phone. He can have no electronic devices. The actual details and the parameters of the bail conditions still to be worked out over the course of the day. But the headline is Deepak Paradkar, the Canadian lawyer, granted bail.
He's on roads. This is from months ago. This is probably like 5 months ago, 6 months ago. Boom. Man's on roads. Yo, don't think that guys like this ain't touching road just now too, eh? She's on road with me over here talking shit on my pod. She probably watched the pod. She looks like the demo. Yo, fam. Gang, 1 to 10. Because this is who's be popping up and working at the Toronto South and shit like that. All right? 1 to 10, gang. Give me a 1 to 10. This one, right? Chasa. Let me get a solo shot of her. Maybe the picture of the next man's interfering with your judgment. But give me a 1 to 10. See her there? Bong. Taking a little selfie in the mirror. Listen, I've told you guys, fam, I've had at least in my heyday when I was out there smashing down things, at least 4 different girls. Not all of them, and I don't think any of them actually went full force and did what they were supposed to, did what they were saying they were going to do. But at least 4 of them, at least 4. And listen, this is going to make me this sound great, but at least 4 different girls lay up in a bed next to me after we finished doing what we were doing. And we're like, you know what I want to do? I want to get into corrections officer. I want to be a corrections officer. I want to go to school to be a corrections officer. And I'm like thinking to myself, like, ain't you from like Jane Street somewhere? Ain't you from this place? Ain't you from that place? Like, basically, girls who like black guys. And I'm not even talking about the squares, because I didn't fuck only squares. I fucked a lot of hood chicks too. And they're always like, yeah, I want to be a corrections officer. And I would always wonder, why do you want to be a corrections officer? You hang out with the man them, like, You smash bare niggas who freaking sell drugs and carry guns. But then back then, it wasn't in the hindsight thing now in 2026. Back then it hit me. Oh, you just want to be around more niggas like me. You know what I'm saying? You might know niggas from your hood that you can go in there, hold down. Yo, I hate to be talking about my little baby time or whatever, because it was baby time in comparison to some of these niggas. However, for my little baby time, when you see what y'all are calling a 7.5, I seen somebody else call her a 2. When you're inside for at least 5 months, that if she's, let's say, a 7, she turns into a 9.5. Can I get a witness, gang? Anybody who's been inside. She's a dime in jail. What the fuck? She's a 7, 6.5 on road, dime in jail. Niggas is freaking like hollering at her, hey, Mrs. Such and Such, when she comes on the range to do her freaking her rounds. Hey. Come on, fam. But I always wondered why? Why? What's the obsession? But then boom. Here we go. It's like a pipeline, fam. Listen, they're gonna call me Friday Ricky Fed, Ricky Snitch. But how do you think half of the shit gets inside the jails? There was a girl who was arrested and kicked out of the jail back in the days. I was gonna ball her out, but I ain't gonna ball her out. But I'll give you a description. All right. She had long blonde hair. And anybody in the chat, y'all might be able to freaking figure out who I'm talking about. She had long blonde hair. This is in the Don jail. But she's probably moved around to different institutions. Always had the hair in a ponytail. She was about 5'7". Titties standing the fuck up. Right? Ass wasn't so big, but the ass was nice still. Right? She had a little bit of the skin wasn't so great. But like I said, on roads with the titties and the blonde hair or whatever, like, but then with the acne problem, that would like make her into like a 7. Okay? But in the jail, niggas was treating her like a 10. Oh, so and so. I'm not gonna ball out your name, Shorty. I know you might even watch the show, so that's why I'm showing you respect, Shorty. Okay? But like, they were like, oh, yo. If you all know who I'm talking about, any of the men who might have been behind bars circa 2010 to even like probably 2015, Jesus Christ. I don't know if she was, I didn't realize at the time, because I was, I guess, a little bit naive, that she might have been smashing a couple of niggas in the jail, maybe even on my range. You know what I'm saying? But she ended up getting fired. I say all of this to say she ended up getting fired because she was bringing shit into the jail and she got caught. Boom, you're out of here. Take your blonde little ponytail and your big tits out of here. Now you're on road being a 7 again, or 6.5 or 6. You feel me? Nobody in the chat yet? I guess nobody was there around them times. But if you know, you know. Okay? You got her fired. But I'll give you one hint. The name was similar to a toy. I'll leave it there. Similar to a toy, I'll leave it there. Okay? Out of respect for her, because she never did me nothing wrong. But yeah, I don't know who to salute in this. This is some heinous activity. So yeah, once again, this is the update right now. The Guardies were actually feeding information over to this gentleman. Listen, I ain't saying nothing, okay? the guardies are feeding information to this gentleman who she was already smashing on road. And it's just chill. I'm reading the chat. Y'all are you're distracting me. Leave me alone. Oh man. But yeah. And also, just one last thing on this. The guardie that they hated over there, that they were trying to murk in this beginning of this story here, this guy's house. I also have intel from behind the scenes that he was a guy that they used to call Harry Potter in jail. Now, the reason why these guys, and I've mentioned this earlier, but I'll mention this again. I mentioned this earlier in streams back in the days, or back a few months ago, but I'll mention it again for the people who missed it. He was like a super by-the-books guard, and he was causing a lot of quote-unquote pressure to the man them inside because he was by the books. So if you guys got contraband, he's taking that. He's getting probably cells searched, just doing everything by the fucking books. So besides the man them in there who were probably part of whatever gangs that wanted to get rid of him because he's probably fucking up the money, like other guardies, it was fucking up their shit because they're doing dirt. Okay? Harry Potter. They're doing dirt in there. They're bringing things in. They're fucking inmates. So we can't have fucking Harry Potter's loud ass mouth talking shit about us. So the play was get information on Harry Potter's house and kill that nigga. That's what happened, fam. Okay, I don't know his real government name or whatever, but that was the nickname that they had given him in the Toronto South. So this is the guy who was the point of contention that blew the shit open. Not to say that he was the only person that was targeted, but that's who blew the shit open. The guy who plays by the books, who was a guard over there in jail. So I'll say all of that when I bring you up and I show you videos of the Keystone Coppers and all that, bro. We are cooked. We can't trust anything that's going on in the legal system right now. We could trust our lawyers and stuff like that. They'll get us get us out of cases and shit like that. But like the law enforcement, the ones who are here to protect and serve, I'll just be straight up. They work for Ryan Weddings, my nigga. Like I ain't even gonna beat around the bush. I think like 50% of them motherfuckers are on payroll for that guy. I'm sorry, whoever my police supporters or whatever who are maybe watching this live stream, I'm convinced that 50% of your 50% of y'all are on a payroll, directly or indirectly, whether you know it or not. I'm just my opinion. It doesn't mean it's facts. Just my opinion. I will leave that alone. Let me check the poll over here before I get out of here off this topic. How much Toronto police does Ryan have on payroll? 36% of y'all say 50%, 14% of y'all say 10%, 20% of y'all say 30%, and 70% of y'all say no, my bad. I'm reading it the other way around. My bad. 40% of y'all are saying 50%. 13% of y'all are saying 10, 20% are saying 30%, and 27% of y'all are saying 70%. So 70%, I might be overstretching y'all a little bit. But 50%, yeah, that's about right in my books. In my opinion. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to check out these other videos on the screen and make sure to like and subscribe.
We love hip hop.